Hello, I'm here with Dean Giberson and Jamie Uhrmacher. Dean is actually the primary programmer responsible for cutscenes and getting cutscenes to work and getting them into the game. And Dean, you want to talk a little bit about maybe how cutscenes are created and how they get into the game?
Well, basically what we do is the level designers put together a very rough outline of a level, and then from our level editor we actually export the positioning of everything in the world and then re-import this into Maya, and we ship this off to our artist who's actually in Germany, and he goes through and quite literally controls every aspect of something that's in the game, like the legs of the, in this case, ATSC, or where the guns are pointing, when the character shoots. And
so these are not pre-rendered cutscenes, these are
this is
actually running in-game.
It's all in-game, except of course for the movies.
So, but you're getting a lot of different behaviors out of your cutscenes. Your cutscenes do a lot of things that we don't see in the game. How is that possible? How do you get the objects to do different things that you don't normally see in a mission?
Well, in Maya we have a structure called an event, and this is just a time thing that we can say, I want to do something special at this time, and the artist will go in there and in the timeline they'll just trigger it, and I go in and quite literally program each of the events.
Yeah, there's some very specific voice lines being played during the cutscenes that talk about your mission objectives, and I'm assuming that as a level designer you have some say as far as what is said during those cutscenes.
Yes, exactly. The level designers write most of the dialogue for the levels and cutscenes, and we send off the script to the artist to set up the cutscenes. We don't storyboard the cutscenes, though. I mean, Tobias does an excellent job of that on his own and needs no input from us. We just tell him what key points we'd like to see conveyed and give them the voice lines that he could use, and usually give him more than enough that they can use, and they can pick which ones sync up correctly.
I was just going to add that, what basically happens is the level designers kind of build up a story out of voice lines, and we put that in place as a first go. It's just a black screen with voice lines, and then Tobias will put together a storyboard with maybe some images that we can put in there, and then, like I say, it's an iterative process that we just keep adding and adding and adding until it fits in a very cinematic way.
Is there anything about this level that you want to point out that people may miss?
Things they might miss are just the moving canisters on the rails when you're behind the waterfall can be used to your advantage. They pack a big punch, and if you time that correctly, it can really aid your way through. I also just want to point out that all this beautiful geometry in this environment was detailed out solely by Bastian Hoppe, and it's really beautiful. The amount of detail and attention he put into it, I think, really sells the level. It started off as just a quick sort of sketch in my notebook and consulting a little bit with the lead artist, Paul Tobias. And once we roughed this space out, Bastian just took it and he ran with it, and it's gorgeous. It was one of the few levels that started off without a real visual hook, or any hook at all, to be honest, and we were able to turn it into, I think, probably one of the best looking levels in this game.